Hi, I'm Clint Engel, retail editor at Furniture Today, and I'm at Primetime in Dallas with Dave Bilas, Executive Vice President of Nationwide Marketing Group. Good to see you, Dave.
Thank you, Clint.
I just wanted, can you tell me a little about the show overall? How many people are here? How many of them are suppliers versus retail members?
Sure. We'll have over 4,000 attendees at this show, and actually over the last day or so we've had a little bit of an increase that'll take us over 4,000, which is great to have additional attendance. We've sold out the hotel. I can tell you we actually have 3 overflow hotels that we're using right now to make sure everybody's here. The facility, we have over 175 vendors here, vendor partners that we have here, and probably, and again, I don't know for sure because we're having walk-ups as we speak, but it'll probably be over 1,100 member partners that'll be here. So really a nice touch to it.
Are any of these records for Nationwide?
This would be a record for our summer show. Our biggest shows typically are in the wintertime in Las Vegas. That's our last Las Vegas show was our biggest show ever. To give you a comparison, that was well over 5,000 folks and about 190 vendor partners.
I asked Bill Bazemore this question earlier, but I'm going to ask you too. We've talked a lot about at Nationwide in the past about bringing electronics and appliance dealers into the home furnishings category. Is there as much of an emphasis on that as there has been in the past? Is it a growing part of your business?
It is. It's growing, and a lot of it's growing through word of mouth. You know, we have a very close constituency of members, and when they hear about a successful forum like furniture and bedding, we tend to get some groundswell and some opportunities that are there. So I would say it's growing very well. I mean, our bedding business is up significantly. We're enjoying some large increases with all the suppliers that we use there. Furniture, on that side of it, it's a good business for us, as Bill said this morning, but it is in the appliance and TV or CE space, motion products seem to be the ones that garner the most respect and are easy to put on the floor because it's a common sale, common customer.
You also mentioned in a press conference earlier, I think it was you, talking about furniture as your opportunity, is where you see the most growth opportunity. Why?
Well, good question, Clint. In our appliance business, we feel that 85 to 90% of the appliance dealers that are out there in the United States are a member of a buying group. CE, it's probably in the same neighborhood, but on the furniture side and bedding as well, we only see about 20 to 25% of those members or those retailers in buying groups. So we think our marketing, our services really has an opportunity on that side of the business. And really, when you look at our growth, as we talked about this morning, more than half the ads this year have been on the furniture and bedding side.
Also in that press conference, you briefly touched on a test that you're doing with DSI. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, we're testing a distribution model, and it's right now it's in West Texas, and as everybody knows, there's a lot of pavement lines in through there, a lot of jackrabbits and pavement going to places, and a lot of even the larger suppliers are struggling to get product down there on a timely basis. So what we've put together is a joint relationship through DSI, a distributor partner of ours, and Nationwide, and what we do is have multiple lines on multiple trucks. So if you were shipping, for example, if you were getting GE appliances directly from GE, you could only ship their appliances down there, so they'd have to have a smaller vehicle, it'd take longer, there's more damage and so forth. This is allowing a person to combine electronics, bedding, furniture, and appliances on one truck, and so you get a little bit of scale and volume to go those routes. So far so good. We've been testing it for about 90 days, and we're starting to build up some real good momentum. We don't see this playing across the country everywhere. We see it playing in rural areas where there's a lot of distance in between distribution centers and smaller scale.
Okay, and so this is a distribution center. This DSI is where in Texas?
DSI has a facility in Dallas. They also have one in Houston. They use several cross docks in San Antonio and I believe in other parts of the state. I'm not as acquainted with exactly where they are, but those three I know for sure. So they're able to cross dock that merchandise and get it out to our customers in a very timely manner. And that's what some of these rural dealers have been yearning for, so to speak, because they want that product when, they don't care if they get it in 4 or 5 or 6 days, but they want to know they're going to get it on that 4th, 5th, or 6th day. Whereas some of the larger manufacturers are having trouble, getting it to an LTL supplier and then finally down to them and without damage. So this we believe could be a big home run for our dealers. I mean, we don't want to be in the distribution business. We're a marketing company, but we want to make sure we facilitate the product for them.
What other areas are prime possibilities that should the test
We'll
continue?
probably move into the upper Midwest, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, maybe Nebraska, in those areas, along with some parts of Tennessee and North Georgia and even North and South Carolina and some of the less populated spots. But for example, we have a division, NECO, up in the Northeast, very densely populated. They handle their customers very, very well. We have no desire to go into that market. They're facilitating it very well and have been doing that for about 40 years.
Okay. All right. And then finally, again, this is another question I asked Bill, but just to get your take on it. At Furniture Today, I've been writing a lot about bigger players, big box retailers like Nebraska Furniture Mart coming into Dallas. Same thing is happening in Chicago. So I'm seeing a lot of bigger retailers suddenly expanding out. And I just wonder what that means for the independents that you seem to attract. Are they shrinking, or is it just becoming more important for them to be involved in a buying group like this? Or?
Well, I think it's important for them to be in a buying group. I mean, sharing best practices, ideas on how they can do things. I mean, we all know we don't have all the answers, and multiple people doing different things gives us the opportunity to drive that. The bigger guys that are successful, Nebraska Furniture Mart runs a fantastic business. Their model is extremely successful, but they don't open up too many stores too often. I mean, this is obviously their third one in close to 100 years. So I don't know that that's broad expansion, but they're coming into Dallas, and I think they'll do very, very well. But we feel that our guys and gals are moving. We've had some expansion with some of the areas across the country, so we see that as still being the unique service levels that we provide for customers in communities. We also see, as I talked about a little bit this morning with Gen Xers, I'm part of the baby boom population, which is getting older, but the Gen Xers, some of the things that they're used to is they like their community, they like to play with the people inside the community. When I say play, I mean buy and service and things like that. They also like the charitable contributions in that area. That plays very well into our constituency. So we think that is something that's going to continue to grow. There's some other big retailers that aren't doing so well, and we're getting some business from that area. But as the expansion of the NFMs and cons and people like that, they're doing well. We welcome them into markets, and I think there's enough business for all.